We're going to spend a few minutes today talking about Deshaun Watson and the Minnesota Vikings due to a report that was filed today, earlier this morning, to ESPN.com by Jeremy Fowler, talking about Houston Texans quarterback Deshaun Watson and his potential availability for the 2022 season. And in that report and in the original tweet that Jeremy Fowler posted, he suggested that a couple of teams that might be on Deshaun Watson's radar for this upcoming season could include the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Minnesota Vikings. So we're going to get out in front of this today and hopefully never have to talk about it again, because my answer to this rumor is an emphatic no. I have no desire to trade for Deshaun Watson to bring in all of his baggage. He's probably going to be suspended for 8 games at least, and then have to deal with that PR nightmare. I don't believe that this is going to be a reality, that Deshaun Watson gets traded to the Minnesota Vikings for any reason. I think that this should be somebody else's problem, and we should avoid this at all costs. So here is my take. Deshaun Watson has 20 plus civil lawsuits going on right now for sexual assault, sexual misconduct, and I don't know what the status of those lawsuits are, but them existing in and of itself means I want nothing to do with Deshaun Watson. If my only two choices were Deshaun Watson or 0-17, sign me up for that first round or for that number 1 overall pick next year. I will gladly take a winless season over having to have Deshaun Watson and defend him as my quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. No thanks. I would rather keep Kirk Cousins, extend him for $50 million for the next 4 years. I don't care. Deshaun Watson is not on my radar, and I hope that the Minnesota Vikings don't have him on their radar as well. And honestly, it doesn't make sense for Deshaun Watson to be on the Vikings' radar, because they are trying to establish a new culture, a new way, a new philosophy for the direction of this franchise, with a new front office, a younger coaching staff. So far, so good for the Minnesota Vikings, attempting to change the direction of this team from what it was for the last 8 years under the Spillman and Mike Zimmer era. And to bring in a guy like Deshaun Watson with the baggage that he's got currently, that really throws a wrench into your plans and puts you off to a pretty bad start. I just don't see it happening. I don't think that Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is going to put himself at that kind of a risk, having only a 4-year contract. He's also likely going to be suspended for at minimum 8 games, and it's not because that he is going to be found guilty in any of these civil lawsuits, at least I don't think so, but he's probably going to be settling them. And even if he settles them, the NFL is going to use that as a way of punishing him, where they can look to that and that would be the reasoning behind the 8-game suspension. So that is coming, no matter what team that he goes to. I'm sorry, I'm just not on board. If he was scandal-free, or he was completely exonerated, which there's such a low percentage that he could be completely exonerated from, 20 plus civil lawsuits and complaints. It's such a low percentage that could completely happen, because there would be such a long legal battle for that to even be a possibility of a result. So in terms of a court finding, if you will. So I just don't see it. I don't see it. I really don't. If he had no problems, no legal problems, and he just wanted out of Houston for other reasons, like he was unhappy with the direction of the team and none of these issues existed, he's a top 5 quarterback all day, I would gladly trade him. But in his current state, I think he's damaged goods. I wouldn't want him. Some other team is more than welcome to trade for him. The other aspect of this that I think is detrimental to the Minnesota Vikings and their a desire to go into a new direction and build a team, like Kevin O'Connell was officially announced on social media today by the Minnesota Vikings as the next head coach. His introductory press conference is tomorrow. Kwesi Adofo-Mensah talked about Kevin O'Connell being the right team to come in, be a partner, and build this team. And you cannot build a team if you are trading your draft capital for a quarterback that's likely going to be suspended for half the season. Best case scenario if you're the Minnesota Vikings. So no, I am not surrendering 3 first-round picks, 2 first-round picks, 1 first-round pick, a second rounder in Kirk Cousins. No, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. And I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that disagree with me, and that is absolutely fine. I just don't think that we need to find reasons to justify putting this franchise in a better position to win at the sacrifice of, any sort of ethical dilemma. We don't need to twist ourselves in pretzels and perform these mental gymnastics to sort of, ignore what Deshaun Watson has off the field just because we love the on-the-field production so much. I just think that does a disservice to everyone involved. And just based on the history of the Minnesota Vikings, and the Will family as owners and where they're going right now, I think that this would be a horrible way to claim that you're taking a step in a new direction by trading for Deshaun Watson. So that is my 5-minute little piece on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below, but I'm not on board with Deshaun Watson. It's interesting that the Vikings are mentioned, because that sort of leads me to believe that there is rumblings throughout the league, front office executives, NFL insiders, that maybe the Vikings are looking at the quarterback market, maybe not specifically Deshaun Watson, but I think that that's just, something that is going to come up. So I'm not really sure that I would take this too seriously. And if it is to be taken seriously, I myself, as a fan, not speaking for anyone else, would be a hard no on this, just because of his current legal struggles that he is going through, the fact that he is going to be suspended, very likely going to be suspended, and the fact that I don't want to surrender the draft capital, because as of now, I'm more in tune to the idea of rebuilding this team from the ground up, and just to trade away and siphon off so many draft picks would just be a mistake at this point. So no thanks, not interested. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. That is my take. What is yours? Thank you for watching, and as always, I will see you in the next one.